Good morning and welcome to a day in my life with 2 kids. Honestly, almost 9. We've been up since before 8 and we still didn't make breakfast, so that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put Daisy in the bouncer to chill and Miss Primrose is going to help me make breakfast. Is that right? Oh, Grandma. Ooh. We're gonna show you our famous family pancake recipe. My mom has been making this since we were kids and now I'm finally sharing the secret special recipe. Let's start with 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of milk. I usually always do whole milk, but I accidentally bought 2% milk. It's okay, it'll still work. You could also do your favorite dairy-free milk if you want to make this dairy-free. I do coconut milk sometimes and it still turns out really good. 1 egg. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. 3 tablespoons of sugar. I usually use white sugar, but today I only have coconut sugar. 3 tablespoons of melted butter or a neutral oil like coconut oil or avocado oil. 3 pinch of salt, vanilla extract. I always eyeball vanilla. Ooh, okay, that was at least a teaspoon. You want at least a teaspoon of vanilla. By the way, PSA, if you don't make your own vanilla extract, this is your sign to start doing that. It is so easy to make and so much more cost effective and you get so much more. If you know, vanilla tends to be kind of expensive and I always like to buy high quality vanilla, which makes it more expensive, but if you just make it from home, you can have like a whole jar and it's so much better. And yeah, it's really easy. I'll link the video recipe that showed me how to do it. It's basically just vodka and vanilla beans. Pro tip, don't get your vanilla beans from the grocery store because A, they're really hard to find, B, they're really expensive. So I just order mine from Amazon and they're way more cost effective. The key to making the best fluffy pancakes is to not overmix the batter. You just want it till it's all combined. Even if there's some lumps of flour, that's totally fine. This looks good. Okay. Okay, Daisy's getting... Okay. Breakfast is served. Chocolate chip pancakes for Primrose, berry pancakes for me, and I made some scrambled eggs for protein. Yeah, we had a short intermission because Daisy had to take her nap, or Daisy was getting fussy. We'll put her down for her first nap. We'll see how long that lasts. So my cousin is actually getting married soon. Tonight we're doing like a little bridal dinner celebration for her. So we wanted to go and see if we could find a cute gift for her. So we're gonna actually meet up my sister at the mall and we're all gonna go shopping, which will be fun. Also, my mom had this cute idea for everyone to bring a little bouquet of flowers that we made or bought or whatever to the dinner to garnish the table, and then the bride can bring them all home. And so yesterday, Primrose and I got some flowers and made these cute little bouquets. Let me show them. This one is the one I made. That one's for the bride. This one is Primrose's, and this one is just gonna stay home for us. Yeah, I thought it was so cute. Daisy ended up napping for only 10 minutes, so off we go. Hopefully she takes a nap in the car. Before we go, we gotta do fit check. Okay, look really stupid right now, but top is Madewell, pants are TJ Maxx, shoes are Uggs, but I got them clearance at DSW. Dress is mine from when I was a little kid. Shoes are Walmart. Car seat is Nuna. Baby is from my husband. Backpack is from Marshall's. And yeah, all right, let's go shopping. Woo! So cute. And there's Rose. Okay, so Serafina's in the back, being a great aunt, just giving Daisy the bottle. Okay, we just finished shopping. It's kind of unsuccessful. I didn't find anything that excited me, so I just got a gift card. Hopefully she likes it. She can just pick whatever she likes. We got Chick-fil-A for lunch, so we're gonna head home, eat some lunch, put the babies down for a nap, and yeah, we'll see you at home. We're back home. Primrose is napping. Daisy is chilling. And I'm going to cook or prep some dinner. So I'm making this really good beef stew recipe I made up. It's kind of inspired by Italian wedding soup, except instead of meatballs I use like beef chunks. I don't know what kind of beef is called. But anyways, it's really easy and I'm gonna show you how to make it. Okay, so you're just gonna put your meat in a pot. You're gonna drizzle some olive oil, season with salt, pepper, garlic powder. You could also throw fresh garlic cloves in here. That would be amazing, but I actually don't have any, so I'm just using garlic powder. Paprika, some onion powder, and then some oregano. Once you add your chopped carrots, onions, you can also add celery if you want. I just don't have celery right now, so I'm leaving it out. But once you add the veggies, you're gonna pour in some either chicken broth, beef broth, bone broth, vegetable broth, whatever liquid you want. You could also use water. It's just not going to be as flavorful. Sometimes if I don't have enough of this, I'll do half of this, half water, and then I'll just make sure to add more of the seasonings. I'm just gonna pour, I don't measure it, but you just want the beef like almost covered. And as this cooks, if the liquid starts evaporating, or if the meat starts like soaking up the liquid, I don't actually know what the proper term is for it, but you're just gonna keep adding liquid. And so now I basically just stir this, the meat with the oil, the liquid, and the veggies, and you let this cook on low for about 3 hours, sometimes more. It'll just, the longer it cooks, the more tender the meat will be. Once the meat is all cooked and it's tender and not tough and easy to eat, then I add in some orzo and I let that cook. Usually I have to add more chicken broth at that point, and then that's literally it. And then I like to top it with Parmesan cheese. So I call it Italian wedding soup inspired because I use the same seasonings and flavors and the orzo, and it's kind of like a soupy stew, but depending on how much liquid you add, it could thicken up really easily. But if you want more liquid, you just add more chicken broth. Yeah, so this is a great recipe that I like to sometimes start in the morning, and you just dump everything in and basically just leave it for a few hours. You stir it, check on it intermittently. It's kind of like a slow cooker crock pot recipe. I think I don't have a crock pot or slow cooker, so keep it on low heat, and yeah, it's gonna be super delicious. Okay, while the food is cooking and Primrose is still sleeping, I'm going to try and do a little workout now. That's why I got dressed in ugly clothes now. So I'm 10 weeks postpartum, so for my workouts, I really just use this time to work on healing my core. I do have a little bit of ab separation. Again, after this pregnancy, it hasn't been as bad as last time. I think it's only a 2 inch or 2 centimeters is like nothing. I think it's 2 inch gap where my abs have separated. So I'm just doing some exercises, some core work to help heal that and tighten my core. And I'm also just doing lots of stretches because I'm breastfeeding, pumping, holding Daisy, still have a toddler, I'm baby wearing. I usually feel physically kind of depleted already because I'm also still not, or Daisy's still not sleeping through the night. So I already feel like I'm using so much energy throughout the day, just breastfeeding, holding her, carrying her. I use this time not really to go hard or be intense. It's more to like almost relax and just make myself feel better. So I do core work, stretches, and then sometimes I'll throw in some body weight movements like squats or lunges or whatever. I also don't drink caffeine, and so working out is like my caffeine, my energy booster. If I don't do this every day, I feel kind of garbagey. So yeah, let's work out. It's only like 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes sometimes. I am excited though to start getting back into a legitimate workout routine and focus on gaining strength and all that stuff actually improving, but that's for a later time. But okay, yeah, let's work out. I use this, whoa, that's loud. I use this belly wrap band around when I work out, specifically when I do the ab workouts. I also try and wear this sometimes throughout the day, especially if I'm baby wearing Daisy, if I put her in the carrier. This just helps so much. It gives me just like that extra support. My abs are mush right now and they need to be healed, tightened, and strengthened. And so this is what my pelvic floor therapist told me as well. She said this will help the healing recovery process much better. I'll also link the YouTube workouts that I use for my abs in case anyone is wondering. I did these postpartum with Primrose and now I'm just doing the same thing. It is a little bit later. Daisy is now taking a nap in her bassinet. We have about an hour before we have to start getting ready for the dinner. Do you want to say hi? Okay, so I thought I would give a little postpartum baby update slash encouragement and sharing some things that I've been going through. So Daisy is 10 weeks old, and if you watch my birth story video, I think I filmed that when she was 5 weeks old. I talked about how she's such a happy, calm, chill baby and how breastfeeding was going so well. But then once she turned 6 weeks, I don't know what happened, but she started just being really fussy and showing just lots of signs of discomfort. Yeah, wow, I have like 2 baby's diapers I need to change now. Anyways, basically she was showing signs of silent reflux and she was just really fussy, never wanted to be put down, lots of crying. She hated being in the car, would like scream the whole time, or before she was totally fine. Here you go. And started refusing to nurse, like would refuse to breastfeed, which was super weird and scary and stressful. And I was like, what is going on? Because she was breastfeeding great. And the day before it happened, the day before she started refusing, that was the day she started getting a little fussy and something kind of seemed off. But I remember she nursed like 12 times that day. Like she was just doing contact naps, just wanted to nurse. It was like, I think, comforting to her. So then the next day, it was so weird that she only nursed like once in the morning. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. Sorry, by the way, the sun is like so bright right now. But anyway, yeah, she would only breastfeed in the morning and she would wake up in the middle of the night, which she typically wakes up 1 to 2 times to feed. So she was doing it then, but that was it. She had to be like sleepy or asleep or to have like just woken up from a long stretch of sleep to do it. And I was so stressed and depressed. I thought that breastfeeding was over. And I personally love breastfeeding. I breastfed Primrose for 18 months. And I was so sad when I weaned Primrose. I did not want to wean her, but we were trying to get pregnant and it wasn't happening. And a lot of people said, oh, it's probably because you're still breastfeeding. So I weaned because of that. And I don't know if breastfeeding did prohibit or did interfere with getting pregnant, but I did get pregnant like a month after I weaned. But anyways, I was so sad about that. And I told myself, like, it's okay. You're weaning now, so you could have another baby and you're gonna breastfeed that other baby. And I wanted to breastfeed her for at least a year, maybe even 2 years if she wanted to. And I told myself I was not going to wean how I did with Primrose because Primrose loved breastfeeding. That was like her comfort. That was like our love language, our special bond. And she was not ready to wean. I was not ready to wean, and I did it like cold turkey. And it was seriously so sad. I was like seriously depressed for like a week. I've never been depressed or use that word to like legitimately describe a season of my life, but I think I was actually depressed when I weaned Primrose for, it was like a few weeks of just intense sadness. I still get really sad when I think about that. I don't know if I regret it though, because obviously like that's probably why Daisy's here, and so I'm glad. I know that like had to happen. So anyways, the idea that Daisy was possibly not going to breastfeed for a year was like heartbreaking to me, and also just stressful because having to pump or do bottles or all of that, that's like so complicated. And what are you doing? Anyway, I went to the pediatrician, I went to see a lactation consultant, I even went to a chiropractor to see if that would help. So basically what seemed to be the issue was that reflux was causing her a lot of discomfort, and I think being in that position like sideways would aggravate her, and so she would just cry so bad when I would try and do it and would just reject it. But then the past week, thank God, her reflux seems to have gone away. Like, she seems happy and calm again, but breastfeeding is still very like hit or miss. She's still doing it now. She's doing it like a few times a day, and she's doing it at night. There was one day a few days ago where she refused it at night. She likes it up. She refused it at night. She refused it in the morning. She didn't do it for, I think, over 24 hours. And I was not okay. I thought it was over. I thought, like, I'm never gonna breastfeed Daisy again. But she did nurse again since that, and she's been nursing a few times a day. So it's very good. I can't really complain, I feel like, because at least she's doing it at night. Because for night wakings, like, oh my gosh, having to go and make a bottle sounds like terrible, or having to pump in the night sounds terrible. So I really can't complain. We're still not like to the other side yet. I'm really hoping and praying that we'll just get back to 100% exclusively breastfeeding, that we won't need bottles anymore. I will maybe make a video if anybody is even interested in this, because this is like super random and niche, but maybe I'll make a video when this is all over on like exactly what happened and what we did to try and solve the issue, because I've never actually heard of that, like a nursing strike where a baby, like a small young baby, just decides to not breastfeed anymore. And I've never heard where like that happens but they end up breastfeeding again. I always just hear of like, oh, breastfeeding issues, they didn't want to latch or they preferred the bottle, and then like people quit breastfeeding. So which is discouraging to hear, which people do whatever they need to do. I personally love breastfeeding and I want to like make it happen. I don't remember what I was going to say about this. I just wanted to give an update, because in my last video, the birth story video, I made it sound like things were so rosy posy, and they honestly were pretty good, and then all of a sudden everything came crashing down. But things are on the up and up, and we're doing so much better. But yeah, we're still working through some things, and all of this kind of made me remember about this book that I actually read. I think it was shortly after I had Primrose. This is the book. It's called Loving the Little Years, Motherhood in the Trenches by Rachel Jankovic. It basically just gives encouragement and advice for the little years of motherhood, so the baby toddler years. And it was super encouraging, and I was just thinking about this, and I actually went back to read some of it when we were in the thick of all of this sad, stressful reflux nursing strike dilemma. Yeah, I just thought I'd share it basically, because if you are like me, who doesn't really necessarily enjoy the baby years as much, like I love when they get older. Like once Primrose turned 1, I feel like things just got so much better and easier, and I just started enjoying it way more. Not that I don't enjoy my little babies, they're so sweet and precious, but it is really hard, like physically. They're just really needy. It's very demanding. It's like a vicious cycle every day sometimes, and not sleeping through the night, or like I said, breastfeeding issues, feeding issues. All those things can be really hard. And so something that I've learned and realized is that hard does not equal bad. Just because something is hard doesn't mean it's a bad thing, and you can still find joy in hard things. You can still enjoy the time. I actually look back at my first year with Primrose, and I think of just like joy and love that first year, even though it was probably the hardest time, or the most like selfless I've ever had to be, and very physically demanding. But just because something is hard for us to do, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, and it doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. And this book really kind of speaks into that, and it also just gives really good practical advice, like funny stories, encouragement. I also love that it's really short, because as moms in the trenches, we don't have that much time to read, and they're just like short little chapters. And yeah, I just thought I would share. I don't really remember my intention of sitting down and talking about this. I don't know if this was coherent. I'm just trying to share. Okay? I will say, Rachel Jankovic, she is a little intense. There were some parts where I was like, okay, that's a little intense. So I don't necessarily, whenever I recommend a book or something, I don't want to like, I just want to make sure I'm not condoning every single word this author speaks or writes. In case you read this and think something negative, don't think negative on me, okay? Time to get ready for tonight. Okay. Oh my goodness. What are you doing? Okay, we are all ready to go. We'll see you later.